Hello, my fellow enthusiasts. Welcome back to another episode of After My Day Job. I hope you are truly learning how to take ownership of your time after work. In today's episode, our spotlight is on capacity planning. And if you find yourself drowning in the fear of not having time for commitments or creative pursuits after work, I'm here to set things straight. Let's channel that energy towards the truth. And the truth is, you do have time. Today, I'm sharing with you how I found time and how you can too, leaving no room for excuses after this episode. None. Capacity planning, if done right, is a game changer. I am more honest because of discovering capacity planning. Capacity planning has transformed my approach to how I soak up the delicate time I have once I've completed my full-time duties. And my startup is taking legs, and I found time to commit to even more activities outside of this. Knowing that I really want to get this 100th time right, I created a formula from experience and research. I call it my post-work capacity formula. And I think I'm maybe turn that into a book. Let's dive in and explore the importance of capacity planning. So what does capacity planning entail? Simply put, it involves strategically acknowledging and managing your available time and resources outside of your professional commitments. So think about how often this week alone or last week you convinced yourself that you lacked the time to accomplish tasks you've been wanting to check off your list. It sounds like I wish I had time. There's not enough time in the day. I'm too tired. Errands take up all of my time. It brings me to a familiar adage my mom would scream at us when trying to find something we easily overlook. Where did you look? You're not looking hard enough. Humorous as it may be, the underlying message resonates. The primary advantage of capacity planning lies in the truth that there is ample time and resources when we change our approach and discernment and organize our time. So one of my favorite benefits is increased productivity. When I implemented a capacity system, I was able to find as well allocate time and resources. And what this did for me, this maximized productivity. I went from projects being completed in 3 years to 3 months, and I'm not lying about that. I saw procrastination take a back seat. My goals, man, they turned into tasks, and each task received the time that it needed. Not only the time, but the attention. In 1 year, I have a brand identity, I have new merch, a website is in development, and an entire marketing plan. I came up with this concept 6 years ago. Most of the building happened in a year because I planned and made time for it, leading me to my next point. Another benefit that I found pretty helpful in implementing this capacity planning system is my post-work-life balance has enhanced. And I think this is something we all should be striving for, right? The post-work period tends to be one of the most disorganized and unstructured parts of our day, especially for those of us who aren't parents with active kids. Now, what I mean by that is achieving that level of balance feels like a very wild challenge for us regular humans. You know, parents, they have calendars for every person in their home, themselves, and kids. I wish I could get to that level of commitment. In the formula that I'm about to outline, you'll see that I haven't just made time for my passion pursuits, but I've also made time for entertainment, be it karaoke, which I do 2 times a week, be it going to the gym, which I do every now and then, or simply making time for sleep, which is an activity after the age of 30 we all need to indulge in. This formula is a formula that's going to help with all of that. So what's the formula? What does it look like? I know, here we go, let's hop in. The first part of this formula is basically trying to figure out how much time you even have to commit. So capacity is available time minus your current commitments, plus the time that it's going to need for you to commit to your passion pursuits. I know that sounds like a lot, but let me break it down and give you some examples. So available time. say when you get off work, you work a 9 to 5 for most of us, and after that 9 to 5, let's give yourself an hour to get home, right? From there, most likely, I have from 6 until midnight. I'm getting older, so I go to bed at 11. Unless I really have something that really needs to be done, we'll do it until like 1 or 2 a.m. But that's 5 hours a day, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5 hours a day I have left after work, after debriefing from work, to commit to passion projects, to commit to entertainment and free time. Now, some people don't consider the weekends free time. However, I do. My hobbies are very ambitious. So is my passion projects, but I'm also now a part-time entrepreneur, so I utilize all hours that I can get. And so the weekend as well. Look, I think I have about, 5 times 5 is 25, and then I probably bake in like 8 hours on the weekend, and that's 16, 41 hours after work, and that's my capacity. So that's the beginning of my capacity, right? Next, I gotta subtract my current commitments, like running errands, going grocery shopping, making sure I eat dinner. I don't have a lot of commitments. I don't have a family, I'm single, so there's not a lot of commitments I need to put into place, so my time is actually maximized. And so I give myself about 35 hours. 35 hours a week I have available for my passion projects. Now I do fit in about 5 to 6, maybe 8 hours of free time. What I have left is what I'm using. That's what I'm using to build my businesses and to participate in hobbies and any additional passion projects like writing an EP or something like that. So hopefully you understood that. That is your capacity. And so you have this formula available to you. I would encourage you to use it. There's another formula we need to talk about. How do you know how much time you need to commit? Well, the average time you anticipate spending on each task or activity related to your hobby or project, right? So I would say the number of tasks, right? The total count of tasks or activities involved in completing your hobby or project. And then I would bake in like some time buffers, like basically an extra amount of time per thing you need to do. And then I would do an estimated resource cost, right? People forget about this, but this is the anticipated financial resources required, like your tools, your expenses and stuff to actually do a hobby. And so when we put all of these into an example, this is what we get. Say you're writing a podcast like me. You're doing 4 hours per episode. There's 10 episodes, right? Maybe some 8 hours of buffing time. And $200 for equipment. Now, it cost me way more than that to produce this podcast, but that is the amount of time I need to produce something. Now, how I divide that time up and assign it is based on how quick I want to do something, and also the amount of time that I have. If I only have, let's see, that's 4 episodes, 10 hours, that's 40 hours. I don't have 40 hours to commit to this. Say I'm only have like 10 or 15 per week left after all my other time. And so I have to divide that 40 divided by 15, and then that lets me know what my full capacity is for an actual project. So hopefully you've learned a lot today about capacity planning, the benefits, and these formulas are useful to you. Look, we don't have a lot of time to actually commit to further teaching you these exercises. These are basically nuggets and bite-sized information, but this season I will be coming out with a workshop and a workbook so that we can elaborate more on this. These examples demonstrate how capacity planning is useful for time allocation and resource planning, and this provides a very comprehensive estimate for planning and executing various hobbies or passion projects. I want to implore you to really take your time after work seriously. It really matters that you get this right, and I want you to get this right. This is a very huge mistake I made too many times in my 20s, and our relationship with time is so huge. So I encourage you to listen to this over and over again, and keep working at it until you get it right. And hey, send your questions, join the email list. That's going to be in somewhere in the descriptions, but join the email list or whatnot, and hit me up on social media on After My Day Job on Instagram. You can also ask questions in the chats on my YouTube channel, but I'm very well looking forward to answering as many questions as possible when it relates to this subject matter. In the meantime, keep hustling, be your best, don't judge yourself too hard. This is a very delicate and very intricate dance, all right? Once you figure out what works for you, it's all gonna make sense and you're gonna move even faster and smoother. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next episode.